That's right. You are totally completely a mirror of me.
Sunshine version of Earl Purdy.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. We cranking up on Facebook Live and we cranking up in here. It's good to see you guys and gals. How you feel?
Good. Morning.
All right. Even if you don't feel good, pretend you do. Just fake it for just a minute, okay? Just for a second. Get past all the regular thoughts. Take a breath. We got our friends coming in online, and I'm going to do the guidelines for A Course in Miracles. I need to do this. I need to take this attitude. To the Course in Miracles. Listen carefully.
I need not accept the ideas. I need not accept the ideas. I need not accept the ideas.
Guess what?
And none of this will matter. None of this will matter. None of this will matter. No, because the use will give it meaning and show me that the ideas are true.
If you use it, you'll see that it's true. If you use it, you'll see that it's true. And
I need not welcome the ideas. I need not welcome the ideas.
did you hear that?
Guess what? Some of these ideas I'm going to actively resist. Some of these ideas I'm going to actively resist. Some of these ideas I'm going to actively resist. And none of this will matter. None of this will matter. None of this will matter. No, because the use will give them meaning. I said the use will give them meaning and show you that the ideas are true. Show me that the ideas are true. Come on and show me that the ideas are true. Come on and show me. Tell Spirit, show me. The ideas are true. Come on and show me that the ideas are true. Come on, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit.
Welcome to the Course in Miracles on Facebook Live and in here live. Let's see if we can go deep into the truth together today.
Some of these ideas you're going to find hard to believe, I promise you. Some of these ideas say what I'm gonna find hard to believe.
Is that true?
Some of these ideas I'm gonna find hard to believe.
It's going to be hard to believe some of the things I'm going to tell you today.
Some of these ideas are going to seem quite startling. Some of these ideas are going to seem quite startling. I'm not asked to judge the ideas at all. I am not asked to judge the ideas at all. I am not asked to judge the ideas at all. Oh yeah. And guess what? None of this will matter
Whether you believe it, accept it, or not,
none of this will matter.
even if you have a lot of resistance,
None of this will matter, no, because the use will give it meaning. I say the use will give it meaning and show you that the ideas are.
please, Holy Spirit,
Show me that
the ideas are true. Please, Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Oh, Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Come on and loving Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Let's say it. Show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Show me that the ideas are true. Show me that the ideas are true. You know the truth about you. I'm going to tell you the truth about you. Welcome. I want you to hear this. We're going to do the Course of Miracles. I want to say hello to Demola, Dharma, Stephanie, Danielle, CJ, Jim, Tarina, Myrna, Judith, Barbie, Deborah. Guess what, y'all? You are sinless, you are sinless, you are a child of God. Say what? You are sinless, you are sinless, love you as you are. Your invulnerability was your Father's guarantee that you would forever be what? Completely free. And guess what? You are guiltless, you are guiltless, you are a child of God. Spark it up. You are guiltless, you are guiltless, love you as you are. Your invulnerability was your Father's guarantee that you would forever completely free. Completely free. Now here's the good part. But you keep on singing. But you keep on singing. But you keep on singing the blues. Y'all hear me? When you're gonna stop singing, when you're gonna stop singing, it's time for you to learn you have nothing to lose. Somebody say it with me. I want to tell you that you have to get out your head sometimes and just let yourself feel all these incredible people in the room with you. Look around just a minute. Look at these cool faces. We keep saying that we join in to recognize the oneness that we share. And then we're tempted to ignore the hell out of each other while seeing ourselves as being these loving beings, as long as I don't have to look at you. But you are sinless, you are a child of God. Somebody say it with me. You are sinless, you are sinless, love you as you are. Your invulnerability was your Father's guarantee that you would forever be completely free, completely free. One more time. But you keep on singing. Say what? But you keep on singing. Say what? But you keep on singing the blues. Yeah. Time for you to quit singing. It's time for you to quit singing. Learn you got nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. I'm juicing, yes, I'm juicing, yes, I'm juicing down the car. Say what? Yes, I'm juicing, yes, I'm juicing, yes, I'm a juicy child of God. Your juiciness It's dripping all over the floor. I can see your angel wings. You can't get out of the door. But you keep on singing every now and then. You keep on. Do you ever sing the blues? Do you ever sing the blues? Tell the truth. You got nothing to lose. Yeah, 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 yeah. But you keep on singing. Sometimes I keep singing. And I forget that I have nothing to lose. We going to let us listen. God, let us listen. We want to 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 listen. We want to listen. God, let us listen. Y'all acknowledge yourselves for the juice that you have.
Yummy.
That yummy juice. I'm telling you. I can't help it, y'all. I have to let that boogie chakra get warmed up. This black folk got an extra chakra. Called the funk chakra. That's right. You always look cute. Some days you look ridiculously cute. This is one of them. You know everything will be all right in your life. You just keep your mouth closed. And just keep looking cute. Everything will work out. That's my word of advice to everybody. So I'd like to thank I'm Earl Purdy for those that are watching online and those that are in here. Those of you on Facebook Live, you can comment, you can share, you can ask questions. And please share the video. If you're online, please share the video. Right next to your comment area, when you're watching the video, it has share. Just click share, and you can share it on your timeline so we can get more cool people listening to what we're saying. Today we're going to do the Little Wilderness on page 380 in the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles, which is a course in correct perception. A miracle is a correct perception. Do you know that the only thing you're ever looking at are your interpretations? And that the only thing you're ever responding to are your interpretations. That's it. Right now, you're responding to your interpretation. So I'm going to go through the paragraph, and then I'm going to get the juice out of it, and then we're going to go to the next one, all right? This is a very important section. It excites me. The holy instant is the healing instant. So a holy instant is a healing instant, is a loving instant. It says it's the result of your determination to be holy. So it's saying to you, do you know that it's saying an instant of happiness is the result of your determination to be happy? So an instant of happiness is your determination to be happy. A healing instant is the answer. The answer is to have a healing instant. And the Course says the desire and the willingness to let the happiness come precede its coming. So I need two things before my happiness comes and my healing comes. What are those two things? Desire and willingness. I have to have desire if I want a healing in my life right now, and I have to have a willingness if I want a healing in my life right now. It's not just going to happen without what? Desire and willingness. Now, how do you prepare your mind for your healing instant? How do you prepare your mind for your happy instant? Well, you prepare your mind only to the extent that you recognize that you want it above all else. So the way you prepare your mind for happiness and healing is you got to want it above anything else. Above specialness, above money, above success in the world, above feeling guilty, above everything else. You have to want your healing. You have to want your happiness. That's how you prepare yourself. You have to want it above anyone else or everything else. Are you beginning to kind of understand why you're not experiencing it? Because I make the mistake of thinking that that person or that thing, that's what's going to make me happy, instead of wanting happiness above the person and the thing if necessary. I got to want my relationship with God, I'm sorry, above all other relationships. I have to want my relationship with Spirit above everything else.
Amen.
Okay? Then it goes on to say, guess what? It's not necessary that you do more. More, what is the more? What is it that it's not necessary that you do more? Just recognize you want it above everything else, and you have the desire and the willingness to have it. I have the desire, I have the willingness, and I want it above all. I have the desire, I have the willingness, and I want it above all. It's not necessary that you do more than that. Because that's when we actually mess up getting the happiness we want. It's then we have the desire, we have the willingness, we say we want it, and then we try to make it happen. Mm-hmm. That's when you go right off the cliff. Did you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Say it again.
I said, you have the desire, you have the willingness, you say you want it, and then you make the error of the unhappy part of you being the one that's trying to make you happy. So the Course in Miracles says, it's necessary that you realize you can't do more than want it above all else. So, don't attempt to give the Holy Spirit what the Holy Spirit doesn't ask for. Don't attempt to give God what God doesn't ask for, which is your ideas.
He does need my help.
That's right. Because every time you try to get involved, he says you'll add the ego to God and you'll confuse the two. You'll add your ego to what's going on, and then you confuse the guidance you're getting from Spirit with the guidance you're giving yourself. Now, this is how you can tell when God is asking you to do something according to A Course in Miracles. God or love asks little. It is God who adds the greatness. It's God who adds the might. I'm asking a little of you. I'll do the rest. I'm asking a little. Now what is the little that I'm being asked? To have the desire and the willingness, and for me to want it above all else. I, God, pretend I'm black God. That's a trick for you. Oh, it's a cult. I knew it was. I knew it was a cult. I knew it was. Who is it? That's black God. Did you see him doing the James Brown?
With his booty
You
shop.
know that's black God, right? His root chakra's pretty big. Okay, now. I'm channeling. Don't blame me for nothing that's coming out of my mouth. Okay? All right. So, God joins with you to make the healing instant far greater than you can understand. So Spirit is going to join with you to make your instant of happiness far greater than you can understand. It is your realization. What is the realization? Your realization that you need do so little that enables God to do so much. Notice that it keeps trying to say to us, stop interfering. You're interfering. I know you think you got great ideas and you think you know what's really going on and you got the plan for your happiness that you make up for everybody around you and you assign roles to everyone you know and things that they're supposed to do to help you have what you want, and when they don't fulfill your script, then you say, you're not supporting me. You didn't ask me if I wanted to play the role that you assigned to me in your script for what your life was meant to be, that you decided I'm the one that's supposed to make it happen. So, what is the realization that allows God to do so much for you? The realization that you need do so little. Now, if you have no faith in a higher power, I would venture to say you don't really feel confident right now. Fear is the opposite of trust. And you don't love who you're afraid of. And you know who you're afraid of by how free you feel to communicate with them. The more private thoughts you have with anybody, the more fear you have in the relationship. And usually the people that we have the most private thoughts are with the people who are most special to us. You tell your friend a lot of things you won't tell your partner. you kind of watch what you say. Because you don't want to lose the unreality. You know it's not real enough to stand in honest communication. So you just avoid the words that you know will destroy something that you know isn't real in the first place, because there are some aspects of it that you're turned on by, which I won't discuss.
Too deep.
Okay, so don't trust your good intentions. Your good intentions are not enough. Don't trust your good intentions. Do you know how many people have been hurt by other people's good intentions? So what should you trust then? If you're not going to trust good intentions, what does the Course in Miracles says? Trust implicitly what? Your willingness. I trust that I'm willing. That's what I'm a trust in. I'm willing to have more joy in my life. I'm willing to have more love in my life. I'm willing to have more peace in my life. I'm willing to know my relationship with God. I'm willing to know true peace. I'll trust that. But I won't trust my good intentions. They're not enough. That's why you shouldn't trust them. They're not enough. So the Course in Miracles says, it says, trust implicitly your willingness, whatever else may enter. No matter what doubts may enter, keep trusting that you're willing to have it. I got some doubts, I have some fears. I have some doubts, I have some fears, but I trust that I'm still willing to have it. As a matter of fact, I have what's required of me is not just regular willingness. What's being asked of me is a little bit. How many of y'all can do a little bit of something? Well, it seems like we have our path, don't we? It's custom made for us. This is the path to God that's customized to people who just want to do a little bit. Yeah! I love it. I love it. God made a path for me. I just want to do a little bit. Okay. All right. Is y'all with me? Y'all with me? Have you been doing just a little bit? Oh, you've been true to your path. You ought to be feeling good about yourself right about now. I obey God, but I just do a little bit. That's all I do, just a little bit. I'm trying to do less. So concentrate only on this, and don't be disturbed that shadows and doubt surround it. That's why you came. In other words, if you could come without your doubts, you wouldn't need the holy instant. If you could come without your doubts, you wouldn't need the healing instant. If you could come without your doubts, you wouldn't need God's help. So stop being concerned and disturbed because your willingness isn't perfect, that you have some doubts, that you have some fears. If you could come without them, you would not need the holy instant. So don't come to God in arrogance. What does that mean? What does that look like, coming to God arrogantly? Which says, assuming that you must achieve the state that the healing is actually going to bring with it. In other words, I've got to heal myself. It's like a person who's hired a maid who cleans up the house before they get there. That's us. We try to fix ourselves first before we allow spirit to take over in our lives. And that's arrogant, thinking that you got to achieve the state that God's going to bring. I've got to already heal myself. I've got to already know how to love everybody. I've got to already have peace of mind. You know, then I ask for peace of mind, then I ask for help. So the miracle of the holy instant lies in your willingness to what? Let it be what it is. Let the healing instant be what it is. And in your willingness to let the healing instant be what it is, lies also your acceptance of yourself as you were meant to be. It's time for you to accept yourself as you were meant to be. And you were meant to be loved. You were meant to be valued. You were meant to be cherished. You were meant to be appreciated. You were meant to be nurtured. You are a priceless treasure. You are a priceless treasure.
Tell that to my daughter-in-law, would you?
I will tell it to your daughter-in-law that you are loved. I will recognize your value if she doesn't.
That's right. That's good.
That's what we do for each other. right? Then if you doubt your value or somebody doubts your value, you want people in your life that see your value when you don't see your value. You want people in your life that see your value when you forget your value. Okay? So let's see if there are any questions or comments about anything that I've said so far. Shanae, I'm shocked. Tell me, darling.
So I'm coming back to Denver September 1st.
All right.
And it was a prompting from Spirit. And the question I have is, I feel in my body, it's like coming back, you know, just surviving in the mortal realm, having a job, everything. And the thing we're asked to do is we need to do so little so God can do so much. And because there's some fear but also excitement around it, the mind's already planned, like, we'll have your place, we'll get it all. And I don't know sometimes how much is Spirit and how much is me just like, okay, we'll do this, you know? So I want to know, how do you surrender to allow God to do so much, especially when you're having huge transitions with your physical body?
And we're going to cover that later in the section.
Okay.
Okay. And then we'll get you just a minute, please.
So one of the things that really stood out to me was the arrogance, and you know, I said that it's my own arrogance that makes me believe that I need to first try to fix things myself before handing them to God.
Right.
And so to recognize that as early as I can recognize my own arrogance, the sooner I will come to peace.
The sooner I can recognize that I'm being arrogant by thinking I need to already make myself the way that God's healing is going to make me is arrogant.
Yeah, and the quicker I'll come to peace.
It's hard for people to realize that the way that you allow things to be done for you by God is to be willing to admit how much you are interfering with the process and what you are thinking and doing that's interfering with the process.
Yep.
So you're supposed to be spending your time allowing the blocks that you have to your happiness, allowing those blocks to be uncovered, to be released. That's your part. Your part is to have the desire and the willingness and to recognize that you've got to... See, the Course in Miracles says we are creators, and we've forgotten that we're little gods. And we've identified with our physical bodies, and so now we think we're human beings trying to make it. When you think you're just a human being trying to make it, you've completely forgotten your true identity. So all of the struggle that you go through is because you believe you're separate from God. You think you're this entity on your own. And the other thing the Course says we've done is we've made up an image of God that isn't true. And then we try to obey an imaginary God that we made up, that we gave imaginary rules. And then we make ourselves feel bad because we are disobeying a God we made up in the first place, which is insane. Okay, it's like it says God made you in God's image, and what we've done is made God in our image. We get jealous, God gets jealous.
Yeah.
We get angry, so now we have a God that gets angry. We think we sin and do something that's irreversibly bad, and so we think God is going to punish us for the things we've made up that they're bad, that we have attributed to God as creating. And then when God, who is alive, tries to communicate and say, oops, y'all are completely wrong about me, then we tell God, you're not real. Because what's real is the God of fear and separation that I learned as a child. So we don't realize how much we're still being controlled by those ancient ideas that we got as children while saying we are over them.
How do you know that you're not over it?
Triggered.
Yeah, because you still judge yourself for breaking rules that you learned as a child to think were not true. You're still living by your old rules. So the Course in Miracles, okay, yeah, Chris.
So I don't know if you remember this, but after you said, if you could come without them, you would not need the Holy Spirit. You said some really beautiful things. And I don't know if you remember them, but if you do, if you could repeat them, that would be awesome.
What? What did you just say to me?
Yeah, like after you said if you could come without them, you would not need the Holy Spirit. He said like such beautiful things that I was just like, and so I don't know if you remember what he said.
I don't never know what I'm talking about. I'm channeling, man. I'm channeling. You don't want to hear my thoughts. You know, I love you too much to give you my thoughts. Now, what the Course in Miracles is constantly trying to do is to get us to allow God to really and truly function in our lives.
Whew.
And the Course in Miracles is saying the God the God of fear doesn't exist. And so people who are praying to a God of fear are literally praying to a God that doesn't exist. That's why it looks like their prayers are answered. If I was to pray to this microphone stand, nothing's going to happen. Right? So whenever you have an idea of your creator as being a person, and you have an idea of your creator as being separate from you, or the idea of your creator being something that would punish you or abandon you or stop loving you no matter what you do, you're praying to a God that doesn't exist. And so then you end up having to try to do everything on your own. And if you think you're on your own, you're telling the universe, don't help me. I'm an adult. I've got to do everything myself. So as soon as you go to that place of being an adult who has to figure out everything and do it yourself, then you are no longer asking for the support of the universe. And then you wonder why you struggle.
So Kirsty, first of all, says they need you back in the UK soon. And she says, question for Earl, doesn't a commitment to forgiving everything that arises, no matter how hard it seems, require more than a little willingness?
No. No, that's because that's what we were just told. We were just told it didn't require more than a little willingness. The problem is you think you need to do more than that. Just like what you're saying. You're to desire it, and then you are to have a willingness for it. We are trying to get to the level of consciousness that we finally understand that our God self can heal us. I'm going to keep saying this over and over again because we are so full of lack of faith. See, we don't want to face how atheist we are. The Course in Miracles says an atheist is someone who thinks they are alone and on their own. An atheist is not necessarily somebody who says, I don't believe in God. An atheist is any person that thinks they're in this world alone trying to make it. And how can you tell if you're that kind of person? You are afraid. You have a lack of peace. You're worrying all the time. You're figuring all the time. You're trying to come up with your plan all the time. And I know it's upsetting when someone tells you it's not your plan that's going to do it. It's going to be love's plan to do it when you don't believe in love. When you don't believe in God and someone says that's the answer, of course that's not going to comfort you because you don't believe in God. You want me to tell you another way you can handle it on your own. And then that person gets upset when you say, no, you've got to surrender. There's a point on the spiritual path that you have to realize there are going to be things beyond your comprehension, things you do not understand. And just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that you can't reap the benefits of it.
That's right.
I don't understand nothing about how that iPad works, but it sure is sending a Facebook Live all over the world. So if I said I wasn't going to use that iPad until I understood how the iPads work, they wouldn't be watching me right now. So I'm telling you, your understanding is not a powerful contribution to the truth. Your understanding is not a powerful contribution. Your understanding is not a powerful contribution to the truth. It makes something true because you understand it and agree with it. I used to believe that. It's not true unless I agree with it. What a slow way to have your life work. I want to cook something. Okay, let me figure out ovens. Oh, I'd like to warm something in the microwave. I go to microwave school. Oh, I'd like to put ice in the refrigerator. You go to refrigerator school. That's the way we approach everything. Unless I understand it, I can't get a cool ice cube. So the Course in Miracles said, I'm going to keep breaking it to you. There's something that loves you more than you realize, and it wants to take care of you, and it wants to provide for you. You don't know how to communicate with it. I'm going to teach you how to remove the blocks to how to hear your personal guidance. And your personal guidance can be very specific, but you have to learn how to hear. So the Course in Miracles is about removing all the blocks to your awareness of your relationship to Source, so that your life can be easy and all the obstacles can be removed before you ever reach them. That's what this book says it's about. Because you have got to be a demonstration of the kind of loving, peaceful, fulfilling life that a soul lives who's obeying God. You're supposed to be a living demonstration of how cool relationships can be, how happy you can be in any area of your life if you're willing to listen to your own internal guide. And this is about getting rid of everything that keeps you from having that happen. What's the problem? I've made up what I think is going to make me happy. I'm trying to come up with my plan. So what you want to do is first have what? I'm really going to have the desire and willingness above all else. I'm not going to trust my good intentions. I'm going to trust my willingness to be healed no matter what. And the realization that I need to do so little is what will enable God to do so much. So what do I need to be working on? Learning how to do less. Because I'm busy trying to come up with how to do more.
Yeah.
Right? So it says, trust implicitly your willingness. And then it tells something else that's really cool. It says it's okay if you got doubt, so cool it. Okay, stop beating yourself up because you don't have absolute faith in everything that you're doing. It says, if you already knew how to approach everything in total confidence, you wouldn't need the class or the book or learning. We so crazy. But we cute, you know, and we got good fashion sense. At least most of us. So humility will never ask that you remain content with littleness. So being humble doesn't mean that you be satisfied with littleness. But being humble does require that you not be content with less than greatness. So if I'm going to be humble, I'll never be content with being less than great. That explains why you don't feel content. Because you'll never feel content feeling less than your greatness. So that's why people are walking around feeling dissatisfied, because they know they are feeling less than great. But what's the key? Greatness that comes not of you. See, I'm trying to make myself great. The Course in Miracles says, sorry, you didn't create yourself, so you can't make yourself great. You've got to never be satisfied with a greatness that's less than the greatness your Creator can give you. Do you know the Course in Miracles definition of little? What is the Course in Miracles definition of little? Anything you think of.
Ouch.
Ouch. Right? I just want to like to read this book. If y'all notice, you know, I've been doing this book for 37 years. My family think I'm an extremely slow learner. Are you still reading that same book you've been reading for 37 years? Yes. Why? Because it works.
Yes.
I'd be stupid to stop doing something that works.
Right.
That's how you know it's not the truth. You're inconsistent with it. You see, but once you find something that works for you, you're not hunting around. I'm no longer a seeker. I'm a finder. I have found. So I'm not seeking anymore. I'm just trying to apply the instructions from what I found. When you haven't found your thing yet, you're jumping from book to book, teaching to teaching, learning to learning, workshop to workshop. It's because you haven't found your path. You haven't found the thing that moved you yet. So you should keep doing it. But doggone it, what happens if you actually find it? Then you're just working on applying it. And that's all I work on. Is how can I remember what I'm being told and apply it. I am no longer trying to figure out whether this is credible or not. I'm not trying to figure out, well, I don't know what the Course in Miracles is. Well, who cares? You're miserable. So you already know you're the worst person in the world to decide what makes you happy. So the same you that's making you miserable is the you you're using to judge everything that could help you. Doesn't sound smart to me. So it says your difficulty with the happy instant, your difficulty with the healing instant arises from your conviction that you're not worthy of it. So what's really making it difficult for you to have happiness is you don't believe you're worthy of it. What does that mean? Well, if you believe you're not worthy of love, if you believe you're not worthy of happiness, then that's your determination to be as you would make yourself. I'm telling you, you are great. You don't believe you are. So you believe you are what you believe you are. That means you're trying to be right about what you think you are, even though you're thinking that you're something less than great. And that's what makes it hard for you to have happiness. Then God says, well, I didn't create you unworthy of me. I didn't create you, I'm Black God again. I didn't create you unworthy of me. Picture that. I didn't make you unworthy of me. And if you believe I can't enter where I will to be, you must be interfering with my will. If you don't believe that I can be in you where I will to be, you're interfering. If you don't believe that love can be in you, then you're interfering with my will. What? You don't need the strength of your willingness to come from you. Listen to that now.
Yeah.
You don't need the strength of your willingness to come from you, or you are up the creek. Because don't forget, you just do a little bit. That's your job. Can you still do a little bit? Can you still do a little bit? Okay, then I want y'all to get it. If you try to do more, you're going to screw things up, okay? I really, as Black God, I really don't need your help. How many of y'all remember as a kid what your mama said? Hey, boy, go over there and get in the corner and sit down, and then I'll take care of it. Just sit your butt down. God, Black God, white God, every kind of God, the real God is saying to you, sit your little butts down. Haven't you noticed the results of your plans? Have you ever had a plan that left you completely satisfied, that you wasn't seeking for something else? Almost as soon as you get what you want, then immediately you're dissatisfied and you're trying to find something else? That's how you know your plan didn't come from God. A God plan satisfies you. A you plan never does. Can you kind of make sense of the two? Okay? And then, of course, the miracle says, the strength for your willingness is going to come from my will, God says to us. I will give you the strength. See, that's what I love about going to church when I was a kid, because it was all about me learning how to surrender to God as my helper, my healer, my guide. Then I got into New Thought, which did let me know I was innocent, got rid of the fearful, guilty stuff, but I threw God out in the process. It's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Now we think being spiritual is getting information, so much information that you can handle everything on your own. And that's what we call now being spiritual in a metaphysical spiritual community. We think it's all about, I'm going to make up what's going to make me happy, and then I'm going to do it all through all the information that I get, but I'm never including my higher self, God power, anywhere in the process. As a matter of fact, I only ask God's guidance after I've made up my mind about what I should do. First I make up my mind about what's going to make me happy. I decide I want you. And then it be... And then I ask God to give you to me. See, God's job is just to, like a little genie where I rub on God's belly and then God gives me. See, our idea of God is like this big genie that just manifests our fantasies. And God has no more value than how God can give me what I have decided is going to make me happy. And we don't even realize that the reason why you're struggling is nothing that you're trying to do is really what you should be doing. That's what's creating the struggle. You're trying to do too much. What does that mean? You've made up what you think is going to make you happy without consulting your own higher self. It's your plan you're working. Wow. So what do I need to do? Tell me. You need to work on your communication skills. You need to work on your ability to communicate with God. That's what you should be working on. You should be forgetting your plan. You should be taking your plan and putting it over to the wall and saying, what I need to work on is getting rid of the blocks to knowing that God is real in my life and how to communicate with that that powerful force. That should be where am I, not where I'm going to make money, what I should be doing for my career, because you'll be told what to do. When you can hear God's voice in you, you will be told what to do. When you can hear God's voice in you, you will be directly told what to do. Living by guidance is 1,000 times better than living by you making it up as best you can. Woo! 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 Woo!
Amen, brother.
All right. The holy answer, the healing answer doesn't come from your little willingness alone. Your healing and happiness doesn't come from your willingness alone. What is your healing and happiness coming from? It's always the result of your small willingness combined with the unlimited power of God's will. It's that little willingness you're being asked for that's going to be combined with the unlimited power of God's will. Let me give you an easy way to see that. I got 10% willingness. God creates the 90%. Now I got 100% willingness. I got 30% willingness. Okay, well, God is the 70%, and then you still have 100% willingness. Oh, I got 1% willingness. God becomes 99% willingness. Now you got 100% willingness. So why isn't that happening? It's not happening because you don't believe what I'm saying. You just heard it. So how can you judge whether or not it works? You haven't done it. You haven't actually felt like it was okay for you to have 1% willingness. You can't tell me that you've made your connection and communication with God a bigger priority than the satisfactions of your fantasies. You know you haven't. So we really don't know this works because we haven't done it. Don't judge something that you haven't even tried. You're still trying to do too much. Wow. Wow. And if you're a person that's a control freak, it's hard to stay conscious right now. This is the worst class for a control freak that was ever created. Because a control freak doesn't feel safe when you tell them they shouldn't be in control.
Hold on.
Right? So how do you really become in control? You become in control by giving up the control, which puts you in control. Right? So it says now this is the next sentence, is just a trip. It says, you have been wrong in thinking that it's needful to prepare yourself for God. See how many things I've been doing wrong, which explains why I haven't got to joy. First of all, I think I need to do more than have a little small willingness. Then I think I need to trust my good intentions. Right? Then I think that God can't match my little willingness with full willingness. Then I think I need to prepare myself for God. I need to prepare myself for happiness. I need to prepare myself for love. Love doesn't need your preparation because the very nature of love is that you're accepted as you are. It's only what's not love that you need to prepare for. I'm preparing for somebody to go out on a date and I'm making sure I'm looking good because they don't love me. Because I need to be a certain way for them to want me. Love wouldn't care if you came there with your hair all over your head and a sock up and another one down. But if you are dealing with specialists, then you got a lot of scripts you got to make just perfect. You have to work really hard to get the love of a person who doesn't know how.
Yeah.
People who don't know how to love work your butt. They work you. They work you harder than you ever worked in your life for very little return. You usually have dysfunctional sexual habits. We make people work too hard for our dysfunctional love. I have issues. So the Course says it's impossible to make arrogant preparations for holiness. It's impossible to make arrogant preparations for God and not believe that it's up to you to establish conditions for peace. If I'm going to prepare for you to love me, then I'm going to set up the conditions that need to happen for you to love me. As soon as you think you have to prepare, you're going to come up with the plan. That's what he's saying. It's impossible to make arrogant preparations and not believe it's up to you to establish the conditions. God has established the conditions for your happiness. God has established the conditions for your happiness. God has established the conditions for your happiness. God has established. Love has established the conditions of your happiness. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means that they don't wait upon your willingness to be what they are. What will make you happy doesn't wait on your willingness for it to be what it is. What's going to actually bring you happiness has already been created. It's already been developed. It's already been available. You don't know how to listen to be shown how to have it. It's like I got a big gift for all of y'all that's somewhere over in Cheeseman Park. And I say, why don't you listen to me, and I'll tell you it's over there behind that tree. That's what God is telling us. Why don't y'all jokers stop thinking you know, and you know you don't. You've been trying to do it. I know it's scary. I know you're so used to thinking you're in control that this is bothering you, but that's the problem. You don't know what makes you happy. It's like the same force that created the cow is the same force that created the grass that feeds the cow. They were created at the same time. And it's not like the cow is in the lab. And you see a bunch of cows in the class going, we're trying to come up with what it is we need to eat. That's us. If you were created, everything that sustains you was created simultaneously. You weren't like created and now you got to figure out how to make it. The same thing created you, created what sustains you. You're just having a communication problem. Your only problem is you have a communication problem. Forget all your goals other than getting rid of the blocks to being able to hear God's voice in you. That's what a smart soul does. Then it tells us, woo! I get all hot up here. You know what I'm saying? You know, I have to go through amen, a pause. Amen, a pause. I'm having hot flashes. So your willingness is needed. Why? Only to make it possible to teach you what the conditions of your happiness are. I need you to be willing to learn what the conditions are for you to be happy. That's what you should be learning. What would be the conditions I need for me to be happy? Now, if you maintain you're unworthy of learning the conditions that would make you happy, then you're interfering. Every time you say you're not worthy, you're interfering with the plan for your happiness. So putting yourself down, saying you're not worthy, you're not good enough is actually an interference. That's you still doing too much. What do you mean I'm doing too much? You keep calling yourself something that's not true. You're being arrogant. You think your interpretation and judgment on yourself is truer than God's. God says you're whole, perfect, complete. Fine. You say, no, I'm not. That's arrogant. You think your interpretation of yourself is truer than God's. God tells me I deserve love, and I go, you don't know what I did prom night. Well, that's how I knew God existed. I remember saying, God. Okay, now. I was channeling Sunshine. That's what that was. Sunshine right over there. I was channeling her. Say, would you make, now she says, you didn't make the learner. That's you. So you don't need to make you different.
God's calling.
Love's calling you, Earl. Holy Spirit's calling you.
That's the way it always happens. God hangs up before I can get to it. That's what I'm trying to get to God. God just hangs up over me. Tell Earl I'll get back to him. Okay, and this is going to be another thing that's going to drive you crazy.
Great.
You didn't make you, so you don't need to make you different.
That's right.
You didn't make you, and so you don't need to make you different. How many of y'all working every day to make you different? Right. Stop. You don't need to make you different. You just need to realize who you really are. And to realize that the you that you're trying to change isn't you in the first place. The you that you're trying to change isn't even you. Because the you that you are is so beautiful, you wouldn't want to change it. You just want to expand it.
Right.
So the you that you're trying to love isn't really you. Because you wouldn't have a hard time loving you. It's hard to love what's not you, that you made up to be you, that hates you. You're trying to love a you made up that doesn't even exist except in your own concepts of yourself. You're in love with your own self-concept, and you think your self-concept is you. Woo! Woo! Would you first make a miracle for yourself and expect God to make one for you? You will merely ask the question. So what is your rule? What did you do? Ask the question, the answer is given. Don't seek to answer. Seek to receive the answer. Stop trying to answer everything yourself, he said to us. And why don't you seek to receive my answer and stop trying to make up your answer? Because most questions are not real questions. Most questions are people that's wanting reinforcement of something that they already have decided. And when I say something opposite to what they've already decided, they go, yes, but. Which means you really already had an idea in your mind what you thought the answer was before you asked me what the answer was. So you didn't ask an honest question in the first place. An honest question is you asking something you honestly don't know. Not you having some preconceived notion of what you think it is and expect me to validate it. So the Course in Miracles says, whatever, I say, in preparing for your happiness, in preparing for the holy instant, don't attempt to make yourself holy to be ready to receive it. Don't be trying to make yourself loving in order to receive love. Woo! That sounds perfect to me. I don't feel like trying to make myself loving, no way. Do you feel me? You get sick of trying to make yourself more loving. He says, stop that. I don't like this. This is too much accepting me as I really am as opposed to what I think I am. And this is upsetting me because I made up an image of myself that needs lots of help.
Getting rid of my guilt.
Yeah. It's like I got this image of myself that needs to study and needs to learn. And he's saying, no. Use all your attention to focus your attention on getting rid of any blocks that keep you from being able to hear the Holy Spirit in you. That should be your job. To get rid of the blocks that keep you from letting God do things through you and for you. Love wants to do things for you. Love wants to do things for you. So if you're a Course in Miracles student, what you decided is, I want to let the universe do things for me and through me. I am no longer on the track of I've got to figure it all out by myself and come up with what I think is going to make me happy. You chose every lousy relationship you ever had. You were the one that gave them your phone number. You were not a victim of that person. You were the one that said, yeah, just call me. And you know that it was your pattern because you liked them. How do you know it's your pattern? You were attracted to them. How do you know it's your pattern? You singled them out. You wouldn't single them out unless they were your pattern. And you know what their job is to be. Your job when I choose you as my next partner is to make up for everything everybody before you didn't do. So you're going to treat me the way no other woman before you ever treated me. And I'm going to look at you in terms of how much you do things to remind me of the other ones. Because your job is to restore my wounded self-esteem. I feel pretty bad. I've never been able to have a relationship more than 5 minutes. And so you need to make me feel like I really can't have one. So you are here to restore my wounded self-esteem. So the Course in Miracles says, you are confusing your role with God whenever you're trying to make yourself loving in order to receive love. It says the healing, which is the atonement, cannot come to those who think they must first atone, but your healing, which is your atonement, only comes to those who offer your healing nothing more than a simple willingness to make way for it. So here's my job. I'm willing to make way for my healing. I'm willing to change my mind, to learn how to look at things differently so I can be healed, so I can have my abundance, my happiness, my joy, and my love. Your purification is of God alone. Your purification is of your Creator alone. So it's for you. So he says it again, your healing is for you. It can be for you. Rather than prepare yourself for God, rather than prepare yourself for happiness, rather than prepare yourself for love, I want y'all to pay attention. And I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying what the course said. I want you to pay attention to your reactions to what I'm saying to you. I want you to pay attention to how alert you stay. I want you to pay attention to how much you're nodding out, how much you are totally, completely focused. That's in direct proportion to how much you still think you need to figure out how to do everything on your own, and that I'm not giving you back your plan. And so, therefore, there's no interest there. What I need you to do is I need you, Raj, to tell me who's going to make me happy. I need you to tell me who's going to sacrifice to give me what I want. I want you to tell me what outside of myself is going to make me happy. And if you're not telling me that, I have a hard time staying conscious. Because my plan is that everybody else change in order to make me happy. That's why I'm mad at my mate. That's why I'm mad at my boss. That's why I'm mad at my kids. They're not being the way that I want them to be. Nobody's acting out my script. So I need you to tell me who's going to act it out. That's guidance from God. Tell me who's going to do what I want. That's the guidance I want, please. Not, I've got to learn how to do less. I've got to learn how to allow myself to hear the voice that's guiding me. I'm going out to seek my joy now. So the Course in Miracles says, think of it this way, okay? I'm almost finished. So what I'm going to do. Oh, yeah, this is, oh no, it's too much. Oh, God. Y'all be surprised with one friggin' section that we let ourselves hear what it would do in your life. You ready?
Yes.
This is how you prepare your mind. Try to think this way. I who am host to God am worthy of God. I who am host to God are worthy of God. God who established God's dwelling place, you don't have to say this. God who established God's dwelling place in me created it as God would have it be. It is not needful that I make me ready for God. It is not needful that I make me ready for love. It is not needful that I make me ready for happiness. So what is needful? Only that I don't interfere with God's plan. I just need y'all to stop interfering with my plan. I just need you all to stop interfering with my plan. What is the plan? Well, to restore me to my own awareness of my readiness, which is eternal. I need my Creator to restore to me my awareness that I'm ready. I need you to make me aware that I am ready. I need to know, I need to feel like I'm really ready. You know how you know? You know how you would know if you were ready? You'd be inspired and excited about receiving.
Yes.
That's how you know you're ready. You couldn't be unexcited if you were ready. You're only unexcited because you're not ready to receive your good yet. So what do I need? What is God's plan? To restore your butt to your readiness to have what I'm trying to give you. And it's eternal. So what? Well, I need add nothing to God's plan. Say that line. I need add nothing to God's plan. Which is the same as saying I need add nothing to love's plan. I need add nothing to the plan of the universe. But to receive it, here we go. What do you do to receive it? I'm ready. What do I need to do to receive it? I'm good at a little bit. Okay, so what do I need to do to receive it? I must be willing not to substitute my own plan in place of God's. What is my plan? To struggle. What is my plan? To figure out. What is my plan? To think of who and what outside myself needs to change in order to make me happy. What is my plan? To punish myself every time I make a mistake. What is my plan? To think I'm on my own and I need to figure out how to do it on my own. He says, and that's all. If you add more, you are merely taking away the little that's asked of you. Remember, you made your guilt. You made your pain. Do you know what your plan to escape it is? To try to make it real so that you can try to undo it. I'm really guilty and I need to get that undone. I'm really not worthy. I need to get that undone. He says our plan is to make it real and then try to undo something we've made real, which isn't even the truth about us. I made myself think Earl didn't deserve to be loved.
his image is that he didn't deserve love, that he's not worthy. So I made up this image of myself, and then my plan is to say, that's really me, and then I need to work on undoing the image I made up that's not really me in the first place. So I spent all my time trying to change an image of myself that I made up that's not even me. That's what we do. Woo! So, I'm going to get through this paragraph. Pray for me. Pray for me, brothers and sisters. Pray for me. Are y'all praying for me? Yeah. All right, come on now. Pray for me. Yeah. Said Earl, get out of the way. All right. It's only fear you're going to add if you try to prepare yourself for love. The only thing you add when you try to prepare yourself for God is fear. So the preparation for your happiness belongs to God, who gives your happiness. So release yourself to your Creator. Your Creator's function is to release you. Do not assume God's function. Give God what God asks for, so that you can learn how little is your part and how great is God's. That's what makes it so easy. That's what makes it so natural. You make it difficult. How do you make it difficult? Because you insist there must be more that you do. You find it difficult to accept the idea that you need give so little, right? To receive so much. You find it a hard idea, right? Then it says, and it is very hard for you to realize it's not personally insulting that your contribution in God's is so extremely disproportionate. What? Say it again. You find it personally insulting that your contribution and God's contribution are so extremely disproportionate. You are still convinced that your understanding is a powerful you're still convinced that your understanding is a powerful contribution to the truth. It makes it what it is. We have emphasized you need understand nothing. I'll say it again, brothers and sisters. You don't need to understand anything, which is a great news since you don't understand anything. Isn't that the problem? I don't understand how to be happy. I don't understand what to do. I don't understand how to have love. He says you don't need to. Wow. Wow. Your peace and your healing is easy because your happiness, check this out, doesn't require anything you couldn't give right now. So God will never ask you to do anything you can't do now. So any plan you come up with, and it involves something you can't do right now, that's your plan. Anything that's coming from Spirit, you can do it right now. Because what I'm saying right now, you can do right now. You could say the things I just said that he said we should say. You can do that right now. Right? So don't forget that it's been your decision to make everything that's natural and easy for you impossible. If you believe that happiness is difficult for you, it's because you have become the arbiter of what's possible, and you remain unwilling to give place to the Holy Spirit who knows. The whole belief that you have that one thing is more difficult than another is centered on this. Everything that your Creator wills you to do isn't impossible. I'll say it again. Whatever your higher self tells you to do, you know it's coming from your higher self because you can do it now. Matter of fact, everything that God wills for you, which is perfect happiness, is already possible and it's already happened. See, I already have a gift for you right here. Like I have a gift for you, it's already happened. What you need to do is learn how to communicate with me so I can tell you where it's at. Not try to make up the gift. Because my gifts never end. My gifts are not temporary. My gifts don't give you conditional love. My gifts don't perish. My gifts last. The stuff that you come up with is all temporary. So no real gift is temporary. It's like giving somebody a gift like a Snapchat or something. You got 5 minutes and it's gone. Do you want permanent joy? Yes. Do you want to for the rest of your life be hoping somebody loves you and you can get love that will last? You can be given the relationships and the conditions in your mind that allow you to have it. This book is saying, let me give you gifts. Let me give you gifts. Let me give you gifts. You don't have to earn a gift. You don't have to earn a gift. You don't have to study for a gift. You don't have to figure out how to receive a gift. Your Creator loves you so much that your Creator wants you to be gifted.
Yes.
You're on a new path. You're on the path of gifts, not the path of gets. Woo! Woo! Okay, one last paragraph.
You're on fire, brother.
Oh, my root chakra is growing, baby. All right. I was chanting Patrick. Everybody know Patrick, Lord, that's the truth. So I'll say it again. Everything that God wills, is it possible? Everything that love wills, is it possible? It's already happened. That's why your past has gone. Your past never really happened in reality. Only in your mind. That's where you thought it happened. That's where it needs to be undone. All of those images I have about myself, that's not a loving perception of myself, is in my mind. So those images need to be undone, because those images have me working on something that doesn't even exist, rather than working on preparing myself to hear so that I can receive the gifts of love that I've always wanted in my heart. And you are so loved that even if you don't love yourself, even if you don't do anything right, you're going to be blessed. Everything that you are experiencing, even while you're denying God, is still for your protection. You're in a no-lose system when you're in the love system. And you are loved so much, that's the only thing you deserve. Would you give it up, Holy Spirit, for you? You went through it. You went through it with me. You went through the whole section of A Course in Miracles. Come on now. You know that's some gifts. Lord have mercy. You heard it. Can I have some? Can I have I think I twerk. Twerk for God. All right, let's do the financial expression of appreciation while you're in a good mood. I'm a full-time teacher of this stuff, and I don't charge for it, so everybody can come regardless of their financial situation. Thank you for sharing with me. I don't know where the other little sharing thing is, so we'll pass it around real quick. I really appreciate y'all appreciating what I share enough to support my teaching ministry that supports you. It's not charity.
We love you.
Yeah, it's not charity. I'm giving. I'm giving. Yeah, all that I give is given to myself, you and myself. Those of you online, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, just go to my website, earlpurdy.com. If you want to go deeper to get rid of your blocks so that you can hear, then do a clarity session with me. Go to my website. I do one-on-one sessions, and I also use my knowledge of astrology and numerology, which is another blueprint of the intentions of the soul. It's another way Holy Spirit can communicate with us. Spirit is always trying to reach us in every way it can to save us time. What interferes is the programming we've gotten from the world, which turns us off to psychic and intuition. There's more ways to get help than your reasoning mind and your logical mind. You need both of them. So, if you like Sinead was saying, Sinead, the key is going to be putting the focus on removing the blocks to the awareness so you can hear the guidance, and in the meantime, do what gives you the most peace.
Okay.
Okay? You no longer live by what's right or what's wrong, because that varies from person to person, situation to situation. When you're beginning to pay attention to inner guidance, you go, what feels heavy, what feels light? What gives me the most peace in this moment? Then you go, is this something I can do right now? If it's not something I can do right now, it's not my guidance. My guidance is going to scan my present moment, recognize all the resources I have available to me right now, and the instruction is going to use what's already available to me right now to move me to the next step. So it's a trick. Every time you come up with your big plan and it's not going to be successful for 6 months down the road, that's 6 months of no happiness you've sentenced yourself to. So the longer your plan is out, that's the intervening time you think that you deserve to struggle and not have what you want. So your happiness will never be based on anything that's outside of your mind. Everything outside of your mind is neutral. So you can want anything that the world has to offer, but your happiness about it is going to depend on how much you love yourself and you let go of being arrogant, because being arrogant means that you believe that your perception of yourself is truer than the perception that God has of you. Stop being arrogant. You are cooler, you are more loving, and you are more appreciated than you can possibly imagine. It's time for you to be a happy dreamer. Take a breath. Take a breath. I'm going to do the prayer one time before you run out of here screaming. Okay? I bet this room clears out in 5 minutes. I want you to breathe now. There may be something that you're worried about right now, something that you're disappointed about. Tell yourself, I'm glad that I'm playing his spells. I'm glad that I'm playing his spells. I'm glad that I'm playing his spells. My playing is going to make me work too hard. My playing is too much of a struggle. And so let Black God say this for you. Listen.
I'm a happy dreamer. I believe in love.
Those of you online on Facebook, thank you. So here's the prayer. Can I say the prayer? Give us some juice before you go out of here. Can I say the prayer? I who am host to God am worthy of God. I am host to God and am worthy of God. God who established God's dwelling place in me, created it as God would have it be. God created you as God would have you be. You are perfect as you are. You don't need to make yourself different anymore. Why don't you work on getting rid of the interference to hearing your Creator talk to you? Say, it is not needful that I make myself ready for God. It is not needful that I make myself ready for God. It is needful only that I do not interfere with God's plan to restore to me my own awareness of my readiness, which is eternal.
I'm a happy dreamer. I believe in love.
I need add nothing to God's plan. Say what? I need add nothing to God's plan. Say what? I need add nothing to God's plan. But to receive God's plan, what I need to do? To receive God's plan, I must be willing not to substitute my own in place of God's. I'll say, I need to do little so that I can receive a lot. I need to have a deep desire and just a little willingness. So what do I need to do? I must want my happiness above all else. I must want my happiness above all else. You must want your happiness above all else. You must want your happiness above all else. So say, I want my happiness above all else. Say what? I want my happiness above all else. Some of y'all get loud. I want my happiness above all else. Say what?
I want my happiness above all else.
I want my happiness above all else. Say it with me. I want my happiness above all else. Over here, I want my happiness above all else. I want my happiness above all else. I am juicy and sweet. I am juicy and sweet. I cannot be beat. Oh, I'm so juicy. I say I'm juicy. I say I'm juicy. One last time, say this. I am entitled to miracles right now. I am entitled to miracles right now. Give it up, God. Woo! Let's do it when you come.
Let's acknowledge each other before we run out of the speed of light. There's some beautiful souls in here right now. That section is called A Little Willingness. And it's on page 388 at the Foundation for Inner Peace version of the Course in Miracles. When I cover it in the class, it's just so that you can get familiar with it, so you can dive into it and really get the meat of it. I'm here to support you, but I don't substitute for your own personal study and attention. Stop doing so much. Hugs are available. I love you. I'll see you next time. Yeah. Those of you online, I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in.